Well, good afternoon, everybody. Good evening. And good morning, depending on where you are in the world today. I am Dr. Zayas from the Stoic Frog Gaming channel. On behalf of the Slytherin Group, welcome to another Saturday afternoon Command Modern Air Naval Operations stream. Today we're going to be playing another, well, not a brand new Command Live DLC, but one that's been out for about 6 months called Commonwealth Collision. For those, just a quick note before we get going here. I know there were some people who were interested in seeing the continuing playthrough of King of the Border. And we're not going to be continuing that today, but I am starting that playthrough on my YouTube channel over at stoicfrog.tv. Episode 1 went up on Monday. Episode 2 and 3 are going up this weekend. One episode sometime after this stream, and another episode tomorrow. So if you are wanting to see more King of the Border, kind of exactly where we left off last week on the stream is where I'm going in episode 2 and 3 in the YouTube playthrough that's continuing on today and tomorrow on my YouTube channel. All right, so I hope everyone's doing well today. Like I said, we're playing Commonwealth Collision. Hopefully that intro music got you nice and pumped up for some exciting Command Modern Air Naval Operations. Alrighty, now like last time, I'm not going to read the scenario briefing for you. This is a Command Live DLC, as always, available on the Steam store or on the matrixgames.com website. And yeah, it's a fully difficult scenario with high levels of complexity. And I'm not going to read you the scenario briefing that's here. We're going to go through the actual video that was released to preview the scenario on the Matrix Games YouTube page. So let me get that set up here for you. And yeah, this will be our briefing in video form.
Pakistan and India are in a bitter disagreement again, but this time the situation is escalating dangerously. A few weeks ago, rocket strikes launched from the Pakistani border area hit several Indian army bases. But it is today's announcement that one of these salvo killed a group of visiting British officers. Although Islamabad is denying any involvement with the incident, it has sparked an unseemingly unstoppable series of events. With a public opinion that's now fired up by the desire for revenge and angered by the evasive responses of Pakistan, London has decided to join India in retaliation and deployed its new flagship to the region, the aircraft carrier HMS Queen Elizabeth. The carrier is backed up with the supersonic radar-equipped F-35Bs and escorted by the new Type 45 destroyers. British forces are joined by India's new carrier, the INS Vikrant, which has been rushed into service alongside the older ex-Kiev-class INS Vikramaditya. Their goal is simple: deliver a punishing blow to Pakistan's armed forces and infrastructures while keeping the risk of a nuclear response to a minimum. In an effort to counter this move, Islamabad has secured active help from Beijing and purchased Chinese-built supersonic sea-skimming missiles specifically designed to hit supercarriers. HMS Queen Elizabeth will be their priority target. A new phase of naval warfare seems to be beginning. Will the carrier strike succeed, or are we witnessing the end of the flat top?
All right, so that is the overview of Commonwealth Collision. Good day, Kushan. How you doing, sir? That is not a Belugan you hear, but it is a fellow Canadian. There is a similar accent, of course. Hope you're doing well today, Kushan. Just starting off the scenario here, that was the overview of the Commonwealth Collision Live DLC. We're going to be playing from the India-UK side. Of course, you can play from both sides, India, UK, or Pakistan and China. We're going to be taking the blue forces out if we succeed, or if we fail horribly. Very early on here during the stream, we will try out the other side as well, if we have enough time. Otherwise, we'll play the blue side through until the end of the stream. We've got about a 3-hour stream ahead of us, going till about 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So buckle up. Hopefully, we'll get some good progress here and get towards a suitable conclusion in this scenario. All right, so the briefing is somewhat, well, there's a lot of words here, so we're going to read them on through. Give us a good overview of what we're expected to do, and move on to the scenario once we have a good idea of what we're preparing ourselves to do. So the background is, war has broken out. So far, the front remains in a brutal grind with little hope of a breakthrough from either side. The impromptu carrier group serves as a deep strike capability, so strike deep. Our friendly forces consist of the Queen Elizabeth, the Vikramaditya, the Vikrant carrier groups at my disposal. The former houses F-35s, which have only been cleared for basic weapons. The latter two are deployed with MiG-29Ks and all carriers house an array of anti-submarine warfare helicopters as well. The nuclear submarines INS Chakra and HMS Ambush, alongside the diesel electrics INS Sindhuraj and INS Shalki, are prepared. For enemy forces, we're expecting at least one HQ-16 battery near the Omara and numerous detected near Omara, that's one of the cities in the scenario, and numerous radar-assisted AAA batteries have been spotted deploying at nearly every airport in the country. 2 squadrons of Mirages and 1 of JF-17s, likely all deployed with anti-ship missiles, have been detected in the west of the country. 1 understrength squadron of F-16s has likewise been deployed as an AA escort, and a significant number of leased Chinese airborne early warning and tanker aircraft have been spotted coming and going from Quetta. It is unclear how many are permanent fixtures. The entire surviving Pakistani Navy has put to sea in search of the task forces, both its surface and undersea vessels. The American, Australian, and Indonesian navies have tracked a massive surge of plan submarines into the Indian Ocean, but it is unclear how many will deploy to the area of operations. Execution. The carriers are to hit targets in the Ormara area. Targets of note are an armored brigade, a Pakistani armored brigade, and a Marine infantry battalion near the city. Both function as a potential general reserve, and preventing their movement to the front is vital. This may be achieved by striking the units themselves and/or attacking the Makran coastal highway bridge nearby. The city has the significant Jinnah naval base. Much of the base is not worth a risky and limited sortie. The oil refinery on the premises is, however. Strike it if possible. A rumored visit by the head of the Pakistani Navy is possible. If it occurs and is convenient, then attack his aircraft. It will likely be either a VIP jet or a helicopter. A very large deconfliction zone has been established. Do not violate it, for our friendly fire record is higher than expected already. It's there for good reason, especially for the unfamiliar British aircraft. Also, do not enter Iranian airspace under any circumstances. Alright, so that is our expectations for this scenario. We have 2 days to accomplish our goals. And this is our theater. Hey, Lancer34, this is not a new DLC. It was released about mid-year 2018. So it's about 2 or 3 iterations old. Called Commonwealth Collision, available on the Steam store, as well as the MatrixGames.com website. Fully available now. It's been released for about 6 months at this point in time. Alright, so let's take a quick look at what we're going to be dealing with here. We have multiple submarines available to us. We've got multiple carriers available to us with a variety of aerial resources as well, starting with the Queen Elizabeth, the new pride of the Royal Navy. 23 aircraft on the Queen Elizabeth, including 10 F-35Bs. 2 of them are in maintenance and unavailable, but we do have 8 fully available, 4 with a ground-based attack loadout, and 4 with an aerial-based attack loadout. All of them internal only, so we maintain our stealth profile happily. Looking at, well, we got a lot of helicopters to deal with the anti-submarine warfare aspects of this scenario. We've got 6 Merlins on the QE. We've got 2 Merlins set up as airborne early warning as well. Let's just take a quick look at their radar patterns here. We've got a 500 nautical mile ELINT capability, 200 nautical mile air search and surface search radar, as well as 100 nautical mile. So we'll turn those, we'll get those out away from the carrier and turn those on and give us some sort of situational awareness. Not too close to the coast. I assume there's a fairly vibrant anti-air defense in place, F-16s at least, as well as surface-to-air missiles. So we won't get them too close, but they'll certainly be valuable if we can get them in roughly into this area. I think about 200 nautical miles away from the coast. If we do our quick range checking tool using Control-D, yeah, it's roughly 200 nautical miles away there. So if we can get the helicopters for airborne early warning into this area, roughly speaking, we should have a pretty decent idea of what's going on through that radar picture. Here we've got some Wildcat helicopters, again equipped with anti-submarine warfare loadouts. Fairly standard. Yeah, it looks like we've got at least 9 helicopters available to us with anti-submarine warfare loadouts. So plenty of resources there with which to prosecute any unknown undersea contacts. Moving on to the east of the Queen Elizabeth, we have the Vikramaditya carrier battle group. 31 aircraft. 20 MiG-29Ks. Looks like we've got 6 set up with an anti-air loadout. With the AA-12 Adder, which is similar to Similar to the AMRAAM in the sense that it's not a semi-active radar homing missile. It does actually have an active radar homing component to it. It can effectively be fire and forget, although we can guide it with our radars for the initial course once it's been fired. It's about a 5 nautical mile range on the active radar seeker, so we can guide it up to that point until the active radar seeker turns on. So we do have some quite good capabilities with those missiles. 45 nautical mile range on them. Yeah, 45 nautical mile range there. And we also have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 Krypton C armed MiG-29s. Krypton C is the anti-radiation missile. Great for taking out radars, whether they be ground-based or sea-based. Has a range of 60 nautical miles. And is capable of taking out radars. Like I said, sea-based, ground-based, you name it, it can hit it. As long as it's radiating, we should be able to take it out with these missiles. All right, moving on down, we've got another fairly sizable complement of helicopters. Got Ka-28 helixes, sonobuoys, and it looks to be one torpedo, aerial-borne torpedo. Ka-31 helixes, airborne early warning. Again, let's take a look at their radar profile. 135 nautical mile range on the air and surface search radar. Not as large a range as the Merlins, so we'll prefer our Merlins for that task, at least initially here. An SA-316, set up as, well, anti-submarine equipped with one anti-submarine aerial drop torpedo and a magnetic anomaly detector, if I'm not mistaken, a MAD sensor. Generic MAD pod. Magnetic anomaly detector, I do believe that is what it is, with a range of only 1 nautical mile. So if we're going to detect a submarine with this MAD pod, we do have to be pretty much on top of the anti-submarine contact. Not the most efficient way of hunting a submarine. It'd be nice to see a bit more in the way of sonobuoys on this helicopter, but we do have our Ka-28s with 18 sonobuoys each. So in concert with other helicopters, maybe this SA-316 will be helpful to us. Moving on down here further, we've got two Sea Kings, two sets of two Sea Kings with the exact same loadout with 2 aerial-based torpedoes. For anti-submarine warfare, no sensors as far as we can tell. That must mean they have some sort of dipping sonar. Yeah, we've got a 3 nautical mile range on a dipping sonar, so they aren't completely blind. But in terms of anti-submarine warfare, I think we are going to prefer the helicopters that have sonobuoys, because they certainly give us a lot more flexibility and cover a much greater range in a lot quicker time frame. One nautical mile is a really good range. Well, Fortress America, what I'm thinking of just off the top of my head here, we don't have any undersea contacts at the moment. So what we're going to be doing is setting up some anti-submarine patrol zones for these helicopters. And if I set up a zone that's, say, 25 by 25, just a square box, say that's 25 by 25, then that helicopter that only has the MAD array has to go to each square kilometer of that box, which takes a very long time. And if we're starting at one end and working our way to the other end, if the submarine's at the far end, we're not going to find it before we run out of fuel. The nice thing about sonobuoys is the helicopter just flies over, drops it, moves on, drops another, moves on, drops another, effectively forming a net. And the MAD array will certainly complement that. But as a sole searcher for a submarine within a search pattern area, it's going to take us a long time to actually prosecute that contact. So the MAD array is going to be helpful for us, that's for sure. But I think the sonobuoys are going to be our primary method of tracking down and detecting enemy submarine contacts. Moving on to the east, to our final carrier battle group here. An embarrassment of riches, we have 3 carriers with which to work. Only 12 aircraft on the Vikrant. As we heard in the briefing, she has been rushed into service for this specific scenario. Only 6 MiG-29Ks available on her, 4 of them available 2 in maintenance. Heavy anti-air loadout, 6 AA-12 adders. Those will be handy for carrier defense and hopefully shooting down some of the enemy air defenses that are off the coast of Pakistan. Looking at our helicopter complement, again, we've got airborne early warning Ka-31s. Again, a range of 135 nautical miles on the radar. So not as good as our Merlins, but handy if we need them in a pinch. And then 2 sets of 2 Sea Kings each, one of which is in maintenance, again, with aerial drop torpedoes and their dipping sonar. All right, so this Commonwealth Collision is a bit of a smaller scenario than what you've probably seen in the past from other Command Live DLC. It's certainly smaller than King of the Border that we played last week. It's in my opinion, it's one of the nicer scenarios in that there's not so much micromanagement. You can actually relax and have fun with fewer units. Some very capable units too at the same time. One of my favorite planes to play with in Command Modern Air Naval Operations is the F-35, mainly because, and we look at our sensor package here, we have 100 nautical mile range IRST, which is infrared search and track, giving us third generation imaging for air-to-air tracking. Looks like it also does surface search, ground search, so we can detect pretty much everything we want to detect within 100 nautical miles of this aircraft, give or take. If there's any cloud cover, that can get in the way, of course, but it looks like we have clear sky, no rain, 25 degrees Celsius temperatures, so perfect weather for reaching out and seeing somebody with our optical sensors. So we certainly have helicopters that have airborne early warning radar capabilities. We saw that earlier with the two Merlins here, 200 nautical mile range on their radar. But I think we're going to be using these F-35s aggressively to scout and recon whatever is in front of us here just off the coast. Without having to turn on our radars and give away our position, we of course can detect quite a lot with our cameras and feed that information back to the main carrier battle group. All right, moving north, we've got 4 submarines as depicted from the briefing. HMS Ambush, INS Chakra, the Shalky, and the Sinturaj. Sinturaj and Shalky are diesel attack submarines, I believe they were listed as. Yeah, hunter-killer submarines, limiting their available weaponry to anti-submarine torpedoes, which also can strike surface ships if we need to. 35 knot speed on them, not very fast. They're only a 4 nautical mile range, so they're not great resources. At least the Shalky's not a great resource to go one-on-one with a capable opponent. The Sinturaj, let's take a look at what she is made up of. She is a kilo variant. Again, torpedo tube seems to be her main weaponry. She does have some basic surface-to-air missile capabilities with a 3 nautical mile range. Again, her torpedoes have targeting of surface ships and submarines, a range of 4 nautical miles and a speed of 40 knots. So in terms of hunter-killer status, a 4 nautical mile range on these torpedoes, 4 nautical mile effective range, doesn't fill me with a lot of confidence. The real power to our undersea adventure here is going to be the 2 nuclear-powered subs, HMS Ambush and the S-71 Chakra. We'll look at the Chakra first. She is in a Akula 2 variant. Very capable. 5 nautical mile range on her torpedoes. Again, with a basic anti-air component with a 3 nautical mile range, surface-to-air launch missiles. And the best thing about her, though, being nuclear-powered, she can go full speed as long as we want. Very capable at going 35 knots at a very deep depth if we need her to get someplace really fast. So she's going to kind of be like our roaming person in the backfield. If we detect somebody over here, we can send the Chakra up there pretty quickly to get in the way and help out whatever submarine detects it. I'm kind of worried about the Sinturaj and the Shalky with their limited capabilities. Having the Chakra available to position pretty quickly is going to be a valuable resource for us. The HMS Ambush is very capable as well. Do we have Tomahawks? We do have 16 Tomahawks loaded, so we do have a rudimentary. We do have a very capable land strike, at least 60 missiles we can use to fire off at land-based targets, as well as 14 Spearfish, which have a max speed of 80 knots and a range of 8 nautical miles. So in terms of anti-submarine warfare, the Ambush has our best torpedo armament and also seems to have our very best land attack capability. The Tomahawk Block 4 is, of course, capable of doing quite a lot of damage to a very large amount of targets, excluding surface ships, so we can hit land structures, mobile units, and runways. Taking a quick look back here at the Chakra, I did miss the fact they do have 4 SSN-15 Starfishes, which are 22 nautical mile range. I believe they are rocket-propelled torpedoes? I believe they are. Yeah, it looks like they're fired off up to 22 nautical miles in range. Level cruise flight Valid target submarine. So we actually do have quite the ability to reach out and touch somebody with those rocket-propelled torpedoes, meaning that the chakra and the ambush are very capable for us against other anti-submarine contacts. All right, now we do have one set of aircraft in the air already. Two MiG-29Ks just set up with the regular anti-air loadout. Looks like they're not even assigned to a mission. They're just floating behind the Vikramaditya. Let's take a quick look at our mission editor and see what we are up with. Pre-created missions, looks like there are none. There are a lot of reference points on the screen, though. All right, well, let's start off here with the basics. Ooh, congratulations, the blue belt for redeeming the Decisive Campaign's Barbarossa Steam Key with your sliths. That's impressive. I like what they do with their stream-based currency. Being able to redeem it for actual physical product, that's pretty nice. Congratulations. I would not recommend that anybody do what I did earlier before the stream started with their sliths, which was roulette them all and lose them all. I would not recommend that. Just for those of you who are who might be tempted to try the roulette wheel with your sliths. Don't be silly like me. All right. So the first thing we're going to do here is start off with a basic anti-submarine patrol in front of our carriers. The assumption I'm making here is the submarines we're going to be encountering are probably off to one side or the other side. Range-wise, helicopters do not have great range, of course, but we have a fairly decent, not a huge distance between our carrier group and our initial picket line of submarines. So we're going to use the helicopters to kind of cover that gap. So we're going to draw a rectangle with 4 reference points, choose Add New Mission, and say ASW CVBG. One thing I do not enjoy in all of my games, including this one, is doing a lot of micromanagement. So I could set up very precise and unique reference point missions around each of my carrier battle groups. That is something you can definitely do, but because I like to keep things simple, because I do not anticipate needing to move my carriers at all, we're just going to set up one generic zone here and use all the helicopters from these carrier battle groups to sanitize this one area. You certainly do have the opportunity and the ability to set up unique zones per carrier. You can get as granular as you'd like. It just keeps it a bit simpler for me, which is something that as a general game player, that's something I appreciate. Alrighty. So we're not going to set any mission parameters here. We're going to leave it pretty much default. And then we're going to assign our helicopters manually to this zone. Assign to mission, we'll assign the 4 Merlins. Airborne early warning, we don't want there. And we're going to assign 2 Wildcats as well. All right, that leaves us 2 Wildcats in reserve, as well as a single Merlin. So we'll have 8 helicopters assigned from the Queen Elizabeth's Air Wing. Of course, we're not going to put them all up at the same time. We'll set some parameters there once we get the helicopters assigned. Let's set these 4K-28s, or 3 of them that are available to us, to that mission as well. And really, I guess we have to assign the SA-316 for her MAD array. And that's it. We'll leave the Sea Kings. The Sea Kings that only have dipping sonar, we'll leave those in reserve. And over at the Vikrant, we're going to assign... Well, we'll assign 2 of these Sea Kings to that mission. All right, we're going to go back into the mission editor and change the minimum amount of units that we're going to assign to this mission. We're going to use 2 of each class, which means we'll have 2 Wildcats, 2 Merlins, the 1 SA-316, 2 Helixes, and 2 Sea Kings all up at the same time. It's not a perfect number. It's not really a round number that'll work well for us, but we do have enough units in reserve. If we do need to launch more, we can. Alrighty. So that's our anti-submarine warfare needs taken care of. Fairly, don't want to say simple, but again, not as Not as in-depth as we can make it, but I think we'll be okay. All right, so let's take a look at the targets we've got here, at least the hostile emplacements that have been pre-planned for us. We have radar on the west coast, centrally located radar, and nothing on the east coast. Looking for the Macron Coastal Highway Bridge. This is one of the items that we can attack to eliminate their ability to send reinforcements to the front. Here's the Ormara Airport, the Gina Naval Base, and again, that radar that we just saw. We've got Pazny Airport, Gwadar Airport, Turbat Airport, and then further north, Shamsi Airport. Now, just curious about range from the coast, using the range tool Control D, 150 nautical miles from the coast. So not, looks like it's a long way away from open water, but we certainly have the range to reach it if we need to. All right, so before we get going here, I just want to make the general disclaimer that I've made the last two streams I've done for this channel. I'm going to attempt to use the drop-down menus as much as possible, just so I can show you what I'm doing while I'm going through my actions here. I do have some of the keystrokes memorized, and if I do use the keystrokes, I'll try to call them out so you know exactly how I'm getting the game to do certain things. One of the common bits of feedback that I hear, especially on my YouTube channel in the comments, is it looks like a very in-depth game and a very confusing game. One of the things I want to do here is try to keep it as simple as possible and use the menus and explain everything I'm doing, just to make sure that everyone who's watching, from veteran to newbie, has an idea of what's going on. So if anybody has any questions about how I'm doing certain things or how to do that in their own game, please let me know in the chat, and we can certainly clarify that. But hopefully I'll be clear up front here and be as transparent as I can with how I'm doing things, so you can kind of learn from me doing as we go. All right. So, like I said earlier, I'm not too worried about my airborne early warning helicopters getting out within radar range of the enemy coastal defenses to give us some intelligence, because we've got our F-35s that are very capable with their optical imaging systems. We are, however, going to set up a generic zone just in the middle of our submarine contacts here. I'm going to call this airborne early warning. I'm going to make it a patrol mission. No, a support mission. And then we're going to turn everything off and manually assign our Merlins to it. So we've got 2 Merlins here. Assign them to AEW. We're also going to take 2 of the airborne early warning Helix variants from the Vikrant and set them up there as well. Back to the mission editor, we're going to make sure we have 1 unit of each class on station, so we'll have 1 Merlin and 1 Helix. And we want to make sure that the station altitude is maximum. Now, I know that's higher than a helicopter usually goes, 36,000 feet, but that should lead the helicopters to be at their maximum altitude while they are on station. The reason I want them that high is because the higher the helicopter is, the better the range on her radar. All right, now we do want to take care of our emission control settings for this mission. Want to make sure that we have radar active. That means that our airborne early warning aircraft will have their sensors turned on. Very important to have for an airborne early warning mission, sensors that are turned on. Is there anything else I need to do here? Let's do active emissions only on station. So that means the helicopters will take off, head towards the patrol zone. Once they get to the patrol zone, that is the exact moment they will turn on their radars, if MCON has been properly selected, which we've just done. Alrighty. Hey, Roby. How you doing, sir? Welcome to the stream. Alright, so that is our patrol mission here. Let's just straighten it out a little bit. I like how they give you the option to set up a rectangle and a circle as a predefined reference point area, but I tend to turn my rectangles into straight lines half the time I create them. And it's about as straight as I can get it. Hopefully there's no one out there with OCD like me who wants to make them as straight as possible. It's slightly off. That's okay. We'll make do. We'll make do. All right, so that's our airborne early warning. We've got our anti-submarine assets taken care of as well. Let's take a quick look back at our aircraft here, especially the F-35s. Now we've got GBU-32s with the JDAM kits. 12 nautical mile range on those bombs. 1,000-pound bombs capable of attacking runways and land structures. So we pretty much have to be on top of the target before we release. Looking at the ability to rearm these F-35s, looks like we don't have a lot available to us. Just like the mission briefing said, we've been rushed into service, so these F-35s have only the basic capabilities, which is standard AMRAAM loadouts, the JDAMs that we're currently armed with, and a paveway capability. Paveway is 15 nautical miles in range, and we can hit surface ships. All right, and mobile units as well. So that gives us some added flexibility if we should need to do some surface attack, whether it be on the sea or on the land. But for now, we'll leave our F-35 set up with the JDAM kits, and assume one thing I want to do initially here is, aside from scout and recon with our optical systems, is see if we can sneak in and take out these radars as well. So the JDAM equipped bombs will be very capable of doing that. Hey JRT, this is a brand new scenario. We're starting the Command Live DLC called Commonwealth Collision. It was released middle of the year last year, so we're starting brand new. As I was saying earlier, I know a lot of people showed up a few minutes after I started, so I'll repeat here. There was one of the common pieces of feedback I received on the King of the Borders stream last week was that people wanted to see how it continued. We're not continuing on with King of the Border this week. Obviously, it's a brand new Command Live DLC. But on my YouTube channel, I have started a playthrough of King of the Border, which is progressing so far exactly as the live playthrough went last week. Episode 2 and Episode 3 are going up this weekend. Episode 2 after the stream later this evening, and Episode 3 tomorrow. So if you're interested in seeing how King of the Border is playing through, especially along the lines of how we played it last week, you can head on over to my YouTube channel and see that there. But for today, we're playing Commonwealth Collision. Again, Command Live DLC available in the Steam store and the MatrixGames.com website. And it's a brand new scenario starting from the beginning. A very nice, compact scenario. It's a difficult scenario. The complexity is very high according to the briefing. But again, not a lot of units to work with, and we have a fairly compact battle space as well available to us. Which naval fighters are the Indian carriers carrying at the time of this scenario? They are carrying MiG-29Ks. We've got some loaded out as a standard cap with the AA-12 adders, and some armed with anti-radiation missiles equipped on C variants. And then we've only got 6 available on the Vikrant, 2 of which are in maintenance. And they're, of course, anti-air loaded out as well. So MiG-29Ks. All right. So I'm not going to set up any anti-air warfare patrols. I feel like with our helicopters heading out for airborne early warning, that we're going to have plenty of warning if something should approach us. Although I am having second thoughts about the fact I told them to only emit when they're on station. Let's tell them to emit all the time. Because, I mean, we are 120 nautical miles away from our carrier group with this patrol station. And that'll take a helicopter, well, roughly an hour to get there. Just under an hour. I don't want to be blind for an hour. So we'll move that a bit closer and make sure they're emitting the entire time they're getting onto station. All right. So from the Queen Elizabeth, we're going to manually launch. We're going to manually launch our 4 JDAM equipped F-35s. We're going to launch them in 2 sets of 2 each. Launch these 2 as a group and these 2 as a group. Then we're going to manually take control of them and see what we're up against. Again, I'll probably send one to the west side and one to the east side, and then we'll effectively sanitize this entire area with optics. It's only about 270 nautical miles in width, and with 100 nautical mile range on our IRSTs, or optical imaging systems, on the F-35s, we can cover it all pretty much by putting them both in these boxes here, and just let them spin around and take a look at everything, because again, no clouds in the sky, no rain, no nothing. So we're going to have great visibility of whatever's in this area. That is correct. Post-apocalypse, India has not replaced their MiG-29Ks as of yet. This scenario is based in 2018, I do believe. Let's just see if I can find that here. Not there. Scenario description, there we are, right in front of me. Yeah, in early 2018, so it's early 2018 coming off of 2017. Looks like they're still, at least the scenario is still using the MiG-29Ks as opposed to the Rafales. All right, now our submarines, the final thing we're going to take care of here before we hit the go button and start the clock forward. Ceinturage has no waypoints. Let's make sure she is just over the layer. We'll keep her stopped for now. Same with the Chalky. Just over the layer. Keep her stopped. One thing I want to look at, though, just before we leave these two submarines, their sensors. Are there any towed arrays? So we have hull sonar on the Chalky. We have radar, an ELINT, hull sonar again. We do not have a towed array on the Chalky. Looking at the Ceinturage. Hull sonar, radar. All right, so it does not look like either of our diesel-powered submarines have a towed array sonar. Looking at the HMS Ambush, towed array sonar. And looking at the Chakra, towed array sonar. All right. So the reason that's important to me is when I put a submarine at the depth of just over the layer, of course her hull sonar deals with pretty much everything above the layer, and then the towed array sonar is set below the layer, so we actually have ears above and below the layer. So we'll get the Ambush creeping forward just a little bit, just above the layer, and we'll send her in a northwesterly direction. Chakra as well. Let's get her creeping forward just over the layer. And again, heading northwest. Can the scenario be easily modified by users? Post-apocalypse, the mission editor comes with the base game. And in that mission editor, you are capable of editing everything to your heart's desire. So yes, easily modified and easily changeable once you understand how the mission editor works. Alrighty. We're going to leave the Chalky and the Ceinturage just sitting there for the moment. Not going to move them around just yet. I'm more relying on the HMS Ambush and the INS Chakra to do the bulk of the sensing. Hopefully their towed arrays and their very much better capable sensor packages will help us out in that regard. We do have the helicopter-based anti-submarine warfare patrol zone right here. We'll send the Ambush and the Chakra forward. The helicopters don't really have the range to sanitize any area that's much further out from the carriers than that, so we'll rely on the Ambush and the Chakra for that purpose. All right. I think we're all set here. I think we have an understanding of what we have and what we're supposed to be doing. The F-35s will lead off the charge to get us some good intel, and then we'll come up with a follow-up plan after that. Oh, one thing I need to do before we get going here is adjust the volume, otherwise I'm going to blow out all of our eardrums. All right. Let me know if that is too quiet or too loud, if you can't hear it on stream or not. Every now and again I forget, and man oh man is it ever loud. Hello Dickie G, welcome to the stream. All right, we're at 1 second time compression. We're going to up that to 2 seconds. And 5 seconds. Get our F-35s in the air. There we are. One set is up. We'll send these guys west. The other set is going east. that's a little loud for me still. Let's see if I can adjust that again. There we are. That's slightly better. Let me know if you guys have a hard time hearing that. Immediately, within 2 minutes of the scenario starting, we've detected some F-16s based on their emitting profiles. Looking at the F-16AM variant that we're going to be up against today. Looks like she can be armed with an older variant of the Sidewinder and AIM-120C5s, which is exactly what we have on our F-35Bs. So equal capabilities aside from the fact that she is not stealthy at all. All right, there's a lot of clutter on the screen right now. Let's take some of that away. I'm going to change the contact emissions from all contact emissions for all contacts to fire control only. What that does, it gets rid of all the text that was kind of floating in and out of transparency around these planes, showing all of their emissions on screen. The nice change to that is that whenever we get locked on and someone fires at us, we'll see a red bit of text pop up telling us that the fire control radar is locked on to us effectively. So we don't have to deal with the clutter of all the other emissions. We can simply keep the one that we're worried about, which is, hey, we're locked on and we're being fired upon. Danger, danger. There's also, we probably don't need underwater weapons at the moment, or the range circle for sensors or surface sensors. Land weapons, don't really care about that at the moment either. Or even surface weapons, to be honest with you. Let's just keep it basic for air weapons and air sensors to start off here. I think we're okay. Yeah, this scenario is moving forward a lot quicker than King of the Border. It's a much smaller scenario. It seems like my CPU likes it a bit better. She's not getting bogged down at all. All right, we're picking up some surface contacts. The only one we positively identified is a Perry class, the F-260 Almgir. Looks like she's got capable anti-submarine warfare units. Not a lot of air defense. Regular point defenses, I'm assuming. Yeah, her 25mm gun, 20mm guns on aerial targets. 76mm gun on aerial targets. Nothing else, though. All right, so very susceptible to air attack, these Perry-class frigates. Looking just slightly to the east, got the F-251 Zulfiqar, which looks like from the Chinese. A guided missile frigate. What do we have here? We've got a C-802 quad launcher. That's a surface-capable attack weapon. 70 nautical mile range on that, so we need to be aware of that as they get closer to us. Anti-submarine warfare rockets, and HQ-7s, which have a range of 5 nautical miles for generic anti-air point defense. Okay, so in terms of anti-air warfare capabilities, these surface ships so far don't seem to be highly capable. We have 1, 2, 3 of the same class, F-251 Zulfiqars, and only one that's been positively identified over in this grouping at the moment. Looks like we've also detected another radar station on the east coast. All right, so we've got one on the west, one in the central, and one on the east side. Definite targets I want to hit early on here if we can. An unknown mobile contact. Skyguard radar. If I'm not mistaken, yeah, it's usually AAA. So again, not a huge threat to us. AAA usually has a quite the range limit to it in terms of height that it can reach. I want to say 25,000 feet, maybe. So as long as we stay nice and high with our F-35s, we're under no threat from that. All right, we can see our helicopters have vacated their home bases. They're on their way to the anti-submarine warfare patrol area. Our airborne early warning aircraft are, or sorry, helicopters are on their way to station. Someone is radiating. Who is radiating? Oh, right, that's the Helix. Right, we got the Helix coming as well as the Merlin coming. None of my surface fleet is radiating. That's perfect. I don't want them to be seen right away. Let's take a look at the ASW mission again. Oh yeah, they're going to sanitize that area nice and quick. Nice and quick. All right, F-35s have made good progress towards the coast, roughly halfway towards their destination. Not radiating at all. Their radars are turned off. Maybe we'll bring them slightly west here. Slightly west here. I have played this once or twice before on my own. I do recall these F-251 Zulfiqars have quite the surprise associated with them. I think it's sensor related. Right, they have a 80 nautical mile range on an infrared tracking target camera for imaging that can image anything in the air. 100 nautical mile range on a generic TV camera, which is also air search, surface search, and ground search. So while our F-35s are very capable from the air to image about 100 nautical miles around them, these F-251s also have the ability to use their cameras on their ship to pick up contacts up to 100 nautical miles away in the air and on the sea. So keeping that in mind, if I hit the range control or the range tool with Control D, we're roughly 100 nautical mile range. It's roughly the circle that's around here. I've marked it as friendly. I must have fat fingered that. He is not friendly. Let's right click and say mark as hostile. That's better. Got a turbine islander heading south. Maritime Security Agency. Maritime patrol aircraft, no weapons associated with it. It's got a Mark 1 eyeball, an 80 nautical mile range on its radar. Something we'll have to take care of before it gets too close to us. Hey, Pixel 464. Going pretty well, thank you. We're about 30 minutes into Commonwealth Collision. Another Command Live DLC that we're playing today. So far, we are undefeated. No planes have been lost. Good news, good news. Right, just going to adjust the volume. I feel like it's a little quiet now. Adjust it by 1. That should help, I hope. Again, if it's too quiet or too loud, let me know in the chat, guys. If your eardrums are bleeding, please tell me. We're going to turn on our land attack weapon range. So we do have that capability on these F-35s. Aircraft-wise, F-16AM still on the west side and on the east side. Further back into Pakistan, we've got a maritime patrol aircraft. Looks like another prop-driven aircraft. Forward-looking infrared. ELINT capabilities, 200 nautical mile surface search range, so we need to take care of that plane fairly early on. We don't want that getting close to our carriers. We've got a Y-8 Cub, airborne early warning from China. Air search radar range of 240 nautical miles. Don't know if he's going to be heading south. I think he might just be acting as cover for these radar stations and for the coast. All right, well, so far I think we've got a free path into this radar station here. We'll send these F-35s towards there and attack if we're cleared to do so. We do have 2 MiG-29Ks available in the air already. Let's send them north to intercept this BN-2T turbine islander that's, well, I thought he was heading towards our carrier group. Looks like he's heading east. Just doing some very basic patrolling, it looks like. I thought he was heading direct south. Guess not. Either way, we'll send our MiG-29s in there to to eliminate the threat. Nothing new here with our sea contacts. Plenty of AAA being detected, roughly around the area of the Gwadar airport. Now, I am a little worried about encroaching upon the YLC-2 radar set here. There is an airport that does have aircraft. Just going to pause the scenario for a second. 6 Mirage 5 PA3s. So whenever you see this little yellow symbol, that yellow symbol over an airfield, that means that it has aircraft there. And as we've gotten closer to the airfield, the F-35s has actually positively identified 6 Mirages. So I'm curious. I don't want to get too close with my F-35s if there's a massive threat here. But I'm curious what these Mirage 5 PA3. Naval attack variant armed with exosets, perhaps? Indeed, it looks like that is what they're probably carrying. Range of 36 nautical miles on the exoset. Air attack, nothing to worry about there, just regular IR-seeking missiles. Alright, so as long as it's only Mirages that we see here at Gwadar, then I think we're okay. We're not going to be surprised by anything launching quickly off the ground. Hello, Wintermute. Welcome to the stream. Again, a lot of F-16s in the air. We don't have great visuals on them just yet. We see them radiating, but we don't actually have solid contacts. F-35s on the east side are almost over the radar station. No defenses detected yet. Fly them right over. Alright, these F-35s are in range. Shift F1 to manual attack, and then click on the radar station. I'm going to fire 1 JDAM. There we go, weapon out. Let's move the F-35s west. Survey says successful hit, radar station has been destroyed. All right, so it looks like there's nothing else on the east coast here. We'll get our F-35s a little closer. I'll make sure the range, the range that this turboprop maritime patrol aircraft can reach with its radar is roughly 80 nautical miles, so we're still pretty safe. Our MiG-29s are going to get there in time and deal with the threat, I think. Got a fix on these F-16s. They're running at very fast speed. Not very fast, full military power. Heading south. I wonder if they're coming after my airborne early warning helicopter. All right, the F-35s are almost there on the western side. All right. Again, shift F1. For manual attack, we're going to release 1 JDAM. Then we're going to turn away. Interestingly enough, the F-16s that were heading south have now started to head west. They're going pretty fast, full afterburn. Maybe they detect they're trying to intercept the JDAM. Maybe that's what they're doing. Sonar buoy detected by a Sintaraj 129 nautical miles away. That's all right. All right, radar station has been taken out. There's only one ground-based radar left that we know of, at least one non-mobile unit, and that's the one in the center here behind the very capable, at least from a sensor standpoint, the very capable F-251 Zulfiqars, which have the capability of seeing our aircraft 100 nautical miles away with cameras. They know something's up, but they don't know where it is. All right, so we've got 2 radar stations down. Again, though, their eyes are still pretty effective. They've got their Y8 Cub here in the back, which has this huge radar range for air search. So they're not completely blind. Even though our usage of the F-35s keep them effectively blind, they can still see our conventional aircraft quite easily. Moving those MiG-29s to intercept the turboprop. Got a good fix on the Zulfiqars. Let's see if they're actually radiating. Are they radiating? They are radiating. We see all of their radars. Perfect. Sonar buoy that was detected is here. So nothing we need to worry about just yet. Let's start thinning the herd. We do have anti-radiation missiles armed on our MiG-29s and some of our MiG-29s. Let's launch... How many do we need? Let's launch 4. We'll send those in against the... once we get these ships down, the ones that have the great imaging capabilities, we're going to be even more capable of running our F-35s pretty much amok wherever we want them to go. I don't think the Perry class has a similar imaging capability. A 30 nautical mile range on a surveillance camera, air search. 45 nautical mile range on air search for infrared. Yeah, so, 100 nautical mile range. Air search, surface search. Okay, so the Perry class that is slightly to the west of the F-251 Zulfiqars is very capable as well. So we do need to take out these ships ASAP to allow our F-35s to really be able to encroach along the center of this coastline. Right now it's a little dangerous. All right. So that being said, we've got 4 aircraft being launched. That should be enough to at least do an initial strike on these ships. Let's keep the clock moving forward, see what we can do with our F-35s as they are. Make sure we give our F-29s or MiG-29s that just launched some orders. Let's move them north. Falcons are moving south pretty fast. I think they do detect our airborne early warning helicopter. Let's move that back a little bit. Let's move that back. All right, Falcons have turned away. Oh, pause. Our F-35s have been detected, most likely by... They're within 100 nautical miles of these Perry-class frigates, which means they're within range of the cameras that we looked at earlier. Which means we are very much in range of these Falcons. Let's beat a hasty retreat. Beat a hasty retreat, get out of the range of those cameras, and then play with our food. Yes, JRT, all of my F-35s are internal loadouts. Both the air attack variants and the ground-based Variance. Back to cruise speed. I mean, there's no reason I can't fire on these guys. I've got 2 AMRAMs each. They want our radars turned on before we can fire. Let's go back to cruise speed. Shift F1 for manual attack. Cannot fire. Firing unit must obtain from itself or another CEC-enabled platform a high-quality track on the target before firing. All right. So we need to have our radars on. Done and done. Again, Shift F1 for manual attack. Let's move the clock forward by 1 second. And let's try that again. There we are. Automatically firing. All of our AMRAMs have been allocated. We've got a UAV and a helicopter, as well as the 2 Falcons that were earlier heading south are now heading east. It looks like our F-35s on the east side have been detected as well. Turn on their radar, allow them to fire off some missiles. And then we're going to run our F-35s away because they're in danger. They're in a lot of danger. Actually, turn them back around, get some targeting info if it's not too late. Just in time. Hey, we got them. Okay, so what did we do there? We shot down 2 F-16s on the west side. We also shot down something else. Looks like the UAV's down. Helicopter's still alive. UAV went down, and we've got 2 missiles out on 1 remaining F-16 out of the 2 in that group. Either way, I feel like we might be able to actually encroach upon. No, we shouldn't do that just yet, should we? So I'm thinking we can kind of sneak in here, hit the bridge, hit the radar, and make it out. But we're going to be fully visualized from the ships here. They're going to see us and pass that information on to the F-16s, which will eventually corner us. And we have no more. We've got no more aerial defense weaponry on us. So I think we're going to play it safe. Play it safe. Well, we missed both Falcons. Light up the skies. We're getting there. We're getting there. Make sure our radar's on for our MiG-29s. Take them off their waypoint. Tell them to manual or auto attack. Actually, there is nothing out west here, though. So out east, we're in a bit of a hairy pickle, if there is such a thing. Let's get these guys heading back home. I'm going to turn off their radars. And we're going to tell them to afterburn, because why not? Missile out on the Turbo Islander, or the Turbine Islander that's approaching our fleets. Before we move any further forward here, I do want to take a quick look back at the briefing. I don't know if there's any restrictions on me bombing airfields. Just want to make sure I can actually do that safely. So we're to hit targets in the Omara area. Either hit the Armor Brigade or Marine Infantry Brigade or the Coastal Highway. We can do that easily. Hit the oil refinery on premise at the China Naval Base. Destroy the VIP helicopter or jet when it shows up. So no restrictions as far as I can tell here about bombing the airbase. So we know there's aircraft here at Gwadar. Look at the contact report. We have 6 Mirages. We also know there's aircraft here at the airbase to the east, Pajni. 6 JF-17 Thunders, Block 2. Actually, let's see what those guys are capable of. I'm not very familiar. I know the call signs for the... I know very little about the Chinese aircraft that actually sticks. Let's take a quick look here. Every time I encounter Chinese aircraft, I have to look everything up. It never seems to stick in my brain. A JF-17 Thunder Block 2s. Alright, what are they capable of? They are... Looks to be mainly ground attack. PL-12s. Okay, so they're capable anti-air platforms as well. PL-12 has a range of 50 nautical miles against aircraft, missiles, and bombs. The YJ-83s, which are surface ship attackers, 100 nautical mile range. And then the regular cadre of bombs, as well as, what are these Raptor 2s? Surface ships, land structures, range of 60 nautical miles. All right, so they're actually very capable of really hurting us badly. Oh, this is the one that we need to be worried about. The CM400 AKG Wrecker, aptly named. Target surface ships, max speed 1600 knots, range of 135 nautical miles. Okay, so this is the one we need to be worried about. This would be our carrier killer threat. So in terms of threats, the Exocet missile, not that big of a deal, I don't think. 36 nautical mile range on that versus the carrier killing missile over here on the JF-17s. Hairy pickles are delicious. I prefer gherkins. So I feel like I can probably hit them. But we're going to be completely spotted by these Perry-class frigates and their optical imaging systems. We have 0 AMRAAMs left, which isn't that big of a deal because the only threat in the area is on the east side of the country. It's a safe play. The safe play is to go here. We know there's AAA on the ground. We don't see any sort of mobile radars or SAMs that can be launched at us, at least from where we're at here. Same expectation at Pajni. AAA's on the ground, no SAMs that we see. I'm tempted. I'm very tempted to make the trip over to Pajni. But let's see how that goes. In the meantime, we're still egressing on the east side back to base. Do you drop to a low level and avoid the optical systems? Maybe. Ooh, there's a different class of ship here. So we have a Perry class, we have an Amazon class, 2 Amazon classes. Generic frigate with, again, lots of cameras. Torpedo tubes, harpoons. Okay, so nothing much in the way of anti-air defense again. Nothing we really need to be worried about. Our submarines need to worry, but not our aircraft. Well, that's not actually true. These there are 2 variants of the Amazon class frigate here. The one that we're looking at right now, the F-181 Tariq, does have 6 aircraft-capable missiles with a range of 10 nautical miles. Okay, so basic air defense. Point defense still, we class it still as point defense. Nothing that we need to be worried about right away. Still heading in towards... Oh, what are we firing on? Oh, the turboprop actually evaded our missile. Well, let's try that again. Try it again. Right, the question was, can we drop down below line of sight? We probably can. I assume there's some sort of horizon effect. But, for example, let's see if we can look this up. EOS 500. That would be a weapon? No, I don't see an entry in the database for something like this sensor, for example. Yeah. So I don't know, maybe. I'm not sure what this is capable of. To be honest with you, we probably have to do some testing. It makes sense what you're saying. So the horizon effect would be in effect, and we're roughly 80 nautical miles away, if I'm not mistaken. 95 nautical miles away. So yeah, if we're really low, they probably can't see us. That being said, I don't know whether that's modeled or not. Good idea, though. We got more F-16s taking off from the north here. All right, so that could be... Oh no, that's a UAV. Nothing to worry about. Wow, this turboprop evaded a third missile. It's got a lease on life. Fourth missile out on the turboprop. Seriously, okay. Well, go home, boys. You've earned that. You've earned that day off. Go home. Take the rest of the day. You've earned it. All right, so we are closing in on Pashni Airport. No threats that I can see. These Falcons are heading back home. Let's send our F-35s back home that were on the east. There they go, RTB. What's happening here? We are RTB as well. We've run out of fuel because we're going too fast. I forgot to put us back to cruise speed. Darn it. All right, well, we have we have on this aircraft here hit 9 on the numpad to get out of group mode. We have one JDAM. One JDAM. Props to that turboprop. No kidding, eh? All right, so we are in range. Shift F1 for manual attack. Just going to band select everything, and then find the interesting targets. That would be the aircraft tarmac space that holds 3 JF-17s. We'll fire our single GBU at that and head home. All right, RTB. Nothing in our way that we need to worry about. The Falcons are not interested in us, apparently. We got a hit. No, we didn't. Did we actually hit something? We did not. The AAA that was on the ground, the single AAA unit took out our JDAM. Let's take a quick look behind the scenes here. Do we actually lose? They actually lose Thunders? No, they did not. All right, so that one JDAM was not good enough to get by the close-in air defense of the airbase. In other words, their JF-17s live to fight another day. All right, so what are we going to do now? We've got their ships identified. We've got our 4 MiG-29s on the inbound towards these radiating ships. We need to get rid of the naval platforms before we can actually use our F-35s effectively in the area. Although I am surprised we were able to make it into the Prishna? Pozny Airport fairly easily without encountering any sort of surface-to-air missile. Same with Gwadar. There's nothing around there that seems to be a threat to us. JDAM hosed by AA, yeah. Didn't see that one coming. Alrighty, so our F-35s are going to go back to the Queen Elizabeth and get rearmed. We have 4 anti-air capable F-35s available to us. I think we will launch them presently. And just keep on sanitizing the skies over the front here. There is a maritime patrol aircraft we need to worry about. Somewhat capable radar on it, 200 nautical miles. There is a Y-8 Cub, which is not interested in coming towards the coast. Looks like she's just the backup for all the radars that we're destroying. Fairly good coverage on her radar, though, so she will see us coming if we are not in F-35s. I do want to send some F-35s, so up the east coast we have a bit of a pathway here that is not covered by the cameras on the ships in the center of the scenario. So we can get to the Y-8 Cub, we can get to the maritime patrol aircraft, hopefully before she gets to us. So let's continue with that. We got our strike inbound, or at least our strike aircraft inbound. Our 4 MiG-29Ks armed with anti-radiation missiles. 35s have taken off. Let's get them coming this way. Off they go. All right. So the initial prospect for the scenario is still looking good. We got 1 day and 22 hours left to go. 2 radar stations have been taken out, and we know exactly what we're up against, at least on the sea, on the open seas. Got another UAV that's been launched to make its way back towards the enemy fleet. Saw something about Falcons detected. Here they are. They're coming from the furthest north airbase, Shamsi Airport. All right, so at least we know in the future that they're not nothing to worry about from F-16s, which seems to be their main anti-air variant in this scenario. Nothing to worry about from the F-16s close to the coast, which means that we can probably attack Gwadar and Pashni pretty reliably without much threat. We've seen UAVs show up from this airfield back here, Turbat, and all we saw on the ground with our F-35s when they were reconning was only one very small UAV. So nothing to worry about there. Those JF-17s, though, I do want to do something about them. Looking at Ormara Airport, we see more Turbine Islanders. Another one just launched as well. Shall we turn on our radars? Why not? Why not? All right, we've got solid contacts. I think we're going to attack these Zulfiqars first. We've got 8 Kryptons. We've got 6 ships. Although a Krypton will necessarily go for the radar that's radiating. It is not... it's been seen before. I've actually sunk ships with a single Krypton. So we might get lucky here and sink a few ships while we're at it. Hopefully 6. But if not, we'll come back with a second wave. We do have 4 more of these aircraft ready and waiting to fly off the deck. Hey, Muzzle Tactic, aka Sober Loki, nice to meet you. Welcome to the stream. Unknown bogey going at 90 knots. That's probably the nothing we have to worry about. That's one of the UAVs that they've flown out from either their ships or their base just off the coast. One tactic used to destroy air defense sites is to drop a lot of SDBs to small diameter bombs to overwhelm AAA. Yeah, we certainly could do that if we had the resources. But again, we only have 8 F-35s available to us. And the loadouts that we have are fairly basic because these were rushed into service to allow this scenario to happen. The only options we have to arm them with are the JDAMs, AMRAAMs, and I think we had paveways as well. I feel like next time, though, if I planned that better, we would have had 2 F-35s, because one guy ran out of fuel, he had to head back to base. Next time, we'll have multiple JDAMs, and we'll make that work better. We'll do it better next time. All right, Shift F1 for manual attack. We've got 4 times 2, which means we have 8 missiles, 3 ships. Let's fire 2 per ship. There we go, 6 missiles out. And we're going to take our final 2 missiles and see what's left when we're done here. So again, these Kryptons lock onto the radar. You can see the radar that's been locked onto listed. We don't need to guide them in. They're completely autonomous. Hey, Captain Bugwash. Now group different planes together. All right, so we had some success. 2 ships have been destroyed. 1 Zulfiqar is still alive. We've got 2 missiles left, though. This should be A walk in the park. There we go. We're heading back to base. The missiles are out. Wouldn't be surprised that we sink that ship as well. Let's go back to the Vikramaditya and launch the remaining Kryptons. Launch this group, and we'll finish off the other set of frigates. Turbine Islander is up again. So I am kind of worried about this maritime patrol aircraft. Control D for the range tool. 200 nautical miles gets them out to here. We have to take care of that right away. Let's vector our F-35s in faster. Get them there fast. Alrighty. Another ship has been sunk. We only have 3 left on the board. The Perry class and the 2 Amazon class frigates. So we're making good progress. Good progress. We've eliminated 1/2 of the enemy surface fleet, and our remaining strike aircraft have just launched. So let's send them up north. And we wait. We wait patiently for more to happen. May as well turn on our radars. Actually, should we turn on our radars? Maybe not. We know there's Falcons out here somewhere. If they don't see us right away, then we're somewhat safe. Of course, by radiating, they will see us much further away than we want to be seen. F-35 is continuing to ingress towards the maritime patrol aircraft, which is currently our main threat, I'd say. I assume once they detect us on radar, those JF-17s will probably launch pretty quickly. All right. We have to turn on our sensors now. I think those F-16s might be closer than they appear. It was close. Not that close. Either way, they have detected us. They're on their way out to investigate. Let's bring us down to cruise speed. And shift F1 on these 2 Falcons. I'm going to pre-assign 2 AMRAAMs for each. That should be enough. One down. Oh, we missed one. Rats. And he's angry. He is angry. UAV shot down. There we go. F-16 down. I don't think we have any more F-16s in the area. If there are, they've just launched. Or they will launch from Shamsi, which gives them quite a ways to travel before they're relevant to this, to defending against us. Right now, we've got the full run of the scenario in this area, at least in the airspace in this area. We've got a UAV, we've got a maritime patrol aircraft, helicopters, turbine islander again. Plenty of targets with which to pick off. The maritime patrol aircraft, of course, is the most pressing threat. 200 nautical mile range on its radar, which reaches all the way out to here, probably about 50 nautical miles away from detecting us. which is not good. If those JF-17s with the carrier killer missiles launch, we could be in a bit of a pickle. Another one of those hairy pickles. All right, maritime patrol aircraft down in one shot. Wow. These BN-2T turbine islanders are great at avoiding missiles. It's 5 missiles this class has avoided since we started this scenario. One helicopter down. We've got the turbine islander down. Are we RTB? We are RTB. We are all out of missiles. All right, so we only left one helicopter in the area. Everything else has been sanitized. Use my 4-second gun burst. I could, although I'm not eager on getting that close to these ships. I'm sure something would go wrong and I'd lose some of the Queen's F-35s. Don't want to let the Queen down. All right, so the F-35 aerial component, the AMRAAM loaded F-35s have finished their job effectively, defending us from being detected. They're heading back to get reloaded. Inbound, though, we've also got more MiG-29s armed with anti-radiation missiles. They will be in range in a few minutes. Don't you lose the F-35s? Oh, don't worry about that. I'm very good at not losing F-35s. Usually. Sometimes. Every now and again. Like I've said before, the F-35 is one of my favorite units to play in this game, simply because of its abilities to see things with its optical imaging systems. So I tend to take better care of them than I do other aircraft. Like the F-22, great platform, doesn't have the same optical capabilities as the F-35. So while I don't want to say that I prefer the F-35 or the F-22, in game it's usually an obvious choice. And if I were to lose a Raptor versus an F-35, I'd probably choose the Raptor to lose. Now in real life that might be a different call, but in game the F-35s are my prized possession. I don't like losing them at all. Alrighty. So no undersea contacts detected yet either. We've got our little Rorschach of sonobuoys. I don't know, does that look like a bat to you? A butterfly, maybe? Either way, once they run out of sonobuoys, our helicopters are going to be using their dipping sonars, if they have them, until they run out of fuel, and then they'll be replaced on station. And I guess we can put our radars on. I'm not too worried about those F-16s. They're still pretty far north. Offensive ECM, says JRT. Let's see if we have anything here that does. We have defensive ECM, which is automatically enabled when we're under attack. I don't see anything for offensive ECM. So clicking the checkbox probably did nothing. Yeah, it's not even remaining checked. Although you'll find in group mode, when you're actually jamming something, the jam word will not show up. You have to go into unit mode by hitting the 9 on the numpad key or hitting, what is it here? Is it view? Show ghosted group members works, I think. I don't know where it is here. It's 9 on the numpad. And that works. So to see if you're actually jamming, when you go into unit view like this, you'll see the individual units jamming. Big red keyword jam. In group mode, it does not show you that. All right, I'm getting way too close here. Stop talking, Doc, and start shooting. Shift F1. Everybody's radiating. Again, 2 missiles per boat. 2 in reserve. If we can get these boats off the board, we are in great shape. All right, we got 1 down, 2 left. Shift F1 again for manual attack, band select, and we'll send 1 missile. They're not radiating. Oh no! Okay, so if they're not radiating, we can actually hit them with this weaponry. Which is bad news bears, because, well, our JDAMs do not attack surface ships. Ah, there we go. One of them's radiating. Oh, and now we've got some Falcons on the inbound too. So 2 Falcons versus 4 MiG-29s. Missiles out on the missiles out on the Falcons. All right, good old-fashioned air battle here. All right, let's get a bit more judicious with our air-to-air weaponry. We got the missile, we'll remove that from target list. Cannot fire at a weapons range. Here we are, let's fire 1 more at each. Going defensive, everybody's going defensive. 1 ship down. All of our air-to-air missiles seem to have missed. What are we doing? We're on plotted course. Good news, though. The remaining ship is on fire. It's partially flooded. Heavy damage has been sustained. It might actually go down without any further strike. Let's take it a few minutes. Send our strike force back home. No point chasing with only 1 missile left. Thanks, Muzzle Tactic. The comment is that show goes to group members. If that is on, you will actually see the jam icon as well. And yeah, that's one of my little pet peeves. I don't like being in unit mode because there's a lot of extra information that isn't always valuable. Makes things a lot more cluttered. Again, I'm not a big fan of micromanagement, so seeing a cluttered map gives me anxiety. Game anxiety, gamer anxiety. But seriously though, it's a good thing to know. If you leave the group ghosted members on, let's just do that now. If we were jamming, we'd see the little jam key above them as well. Awesome. All right, so what is the status right now? We've got 2 Falcons heading most likely back home, RTB out of weaponry. We've got 1 Perry class frigate that is burning and flooding. Very heavy damage. It'll probably be gone shortly. I am somewhat curious as to the capabilities of the Pajni airport. We know there's 6 JF-17s on the ground. We know that we've got Tomahawks on our ambush. So, crazy old me is thinking again, thinking that we should be taking proactive steps to eliminate their threat to our carrier group. Not just by eliminating the maritime patrol aircraft that keep trying to get us detected, but by tomahawking their JF-17s and Mirages. So we know of 2. Weapon is on magazines. Okie dokie. Let's change that around then. Whoops. So here we've got torpedoes loaded and all of our torpedo tubes. Again, for this was confusing to me for the longest time, so I'll do my best to explain it here. When you have a submarine, for example, you have obviously a limited amount of torpedo tubes which you can preload torpedoes and or torpedo tube launchable items like tomahawks. So if we hit the weapons button here, we can see that these torpedo tubes are all listed. We've got 6 of them, I think. Yeah, 6 of them. And each of them has a spearfish torpedo loaded. So what we're going to do is give reload priority to the Block 4 attack noms. We're going to put 4 in torpedo tubes. And when we hit the clock forward, we'll see now that we're reloading with the Tomahawks within 2 minutes. So we have 2 torpedoes loaded in 2 of our tubes and 4 Tomahawks loaded in 4 of our tubes. So if you're ever wondering why you've got a submarine that has the capability, it's got Tomahawks in the loadout, but you can't fire them, that's where you have to go to, that's what you have to do to get them all set to fire. All right, so now we've got 4 Tomahawks in the torpedo tubes that we've just selected. Let's try this again. We're going to take our 2 tarmac spaces that have 6 JF-17s, and we're going to fire. Now we're too deep, that's okay. We'll fire 2 at this guy. I'm going to plot the course directly, and we don't need to take any lefts or rights. And then we're going to fire 2 more at the other tarmac spot. Now we are too deep. Let's go to a stop speed. We're going to go to shallow, and they will automatically fire. Tomahawks away. All right, so we're going to be waiting for a little bit here for the Queen Elizabeth's F-35 complement to get reloaded. Ground attackers in 6 hours, the aerial attackers or the aerial defenders in 3 hours. Looking over at the Vikramaditya, 5 hours on the ready up of the anti-radiation missiles. Let's actually see if we have anything else we can do with these guys. Anti-radiation missiles are great, but I want to see if we have better flexibility with some other kind of weaponry. Krypton A's. The C variant is the anti-radiation missile. The Krypton A is the surface ship attack missile. We have aerial loadouts we can, of course, put on them. We've got regular old general purpose bombs. Close-in ground attack weaponry, 2 nautical mile range. Cluster bombs, rockets. All right. So it looks like the current loadout is the best loadout for these guys. So we'll let them keep on reloading. I'm going to move our airborne early warning helicopter up a bit. Now, interestingly enough, these Tomahawks are going to fly right over. Can I change this? I'll change this mid-course. I don't think I can. Do I have to be at a shallow depth to do that, maybe? Let's go to periscope depth. See if I can't somehow change that waypoint. I cannot. No control. All right. Well, should have said, I thought the course was set by default to go in a straight line when I checked it earlier when I was assigning the Tomahawks to their targets. Apparently that's not the case. So they will do their little dog leg, one to the east, one to the west, and then head in on to Pashni Airport in the JF-17s. All right, so let's speed this up a little bit. We've got a bit of a lull here while there's not much going on. 15-second time compression. All right, Tomahawks have made it in. Slowing it down slightly. We're getting close. And the survey says success. The AAA strikes again. Hey, but we did get a single tomahawk through. 88% penetration achieved. Second strike. Good hits. Good hits on one, and the other one was shot down. Alright, so let's take a quick look at the score here. This will be a little cheat behind the scenes, just to see what has actually been destroyed. We have taken out 6 JF-17s with those tomahawks. So 2 tomahawks per tarmac spot. One was sacrificed to the AAA, and the other one made it through and successfully killed some of those JF-17s. Alright. So I think we're going to leave the other tomahawks for the moment. The exosets don't worry me too much, to be honest with you. I'll see them coming a mile away. In terms of attack aircraft, we've really got nothing at the moment available to us. 5 hours on the MiG-29s, 5 hours on the F-35s. I did see a notion in the game log about the maritime patrol aircraft. He is returning, so we do have to deal with that. Let's launch from the Vikrant. Let's go heavy, launch all 4. Whenever we encounter F-16s, I do want to be able to outnumber them, because our weapon ranges are roughly the same, as are the success rates or probability of hit on our air-to-air weaponry. So I do want to make sure at least I outnumber them, so I don't risk getting into a bad situation. Alrighty. MiGs forward, sensors on. Not great range on these MiG-29s. Although I think we have enough to take care of this maritime patrol aircraft. We did actually sink that one remaining Perry-class frigate. The surface threats that were in this area are now completely gone. What that means practically is that we should have run of this area now. There's no cameras in the area to see our stealth fighters. We should be in great shape for the rest of the attacks that we need to do, which include taking out this bridge, and there's an oil refinery just on Jinnah Naval Base here as well. Yeah, there it is right there, the oil refinery, which is a fairly tough target to hit. Requires 1,200 damage points to take out, so we're going to take at least 2 JDAMs to take out that oil refinery. Now behind the oil refinery, we have Ormara Airport. We don't know what's there yet, but we know there's aircraft. There's the aircraft sign. There's something there. Contact report, though, says 2 unknown units. We don't know what's there. So once our F-35s are available again, we'll go in and do some recon and see what we can do. We do have 12 Tomahawks left, so if we want to reach out and touch somebody, we certainly can do that as well. Let's speed it up a little bit. Move that clock forward. All right, there is the maritime patrol aircraft. Do an auto attack with F1. And the MiG-29s will automatically pick an interception vector, close into attack. Hey Centurio, welcome to the stream. How you doing today? Oh, we've got a special message. Submarine HMS Ambush has been ordered to periscope depth or surface, but the doctrine has been set to dive on threat proximity. The submarine will now dive. To allow the sub to come to periscope depth or surface, change the dive when threat is detected, setting to no. Alright. Dive, dive, dive. Let's go back to just over the layer. Maritime patrol craft dodged 2 missiles, and finally the third one took him out. Alright. MiG-29s. Do you have any special capabilities like cameras? Infrared search and track, I do believe they have for air search. Yeah, it's only air search, not for ground search like the F-35s. Not a lot of range left on them, only 30 minutes until bingo fuel. Let's move them up this way anyways and see what we can find. We have a Y8W Cub. I don't see any F-16s radiating. We know they're coming from Shanxi Airport. We don't know when or if there are any more coming. Yeah, we're not going to have the fuel to do much here. So we will speed up the clock. There they go. They're going home. New contact. Oh, what are you? You are a bogey of some sort. 70 knots, probably a UAV. A UAV. We will launch one MiG-29 and tell him to intercept. Oh, we lost the contact. Let's head back this way. Sensors on. Positive ID is unknown. Let's go down to 12,000 feet. And there we go. It was a UAV. One shot, one kill. A Sea Eagle UAV. All right, let's... Oh, he's RTB shotgun. All right, let him go home. He's one aircraft, not too big of a deal. Looking at the Queen Elizabeth, we have roughly another hour before our air-to-air lightnings are available to us. 3 hours before our JDAM-equipped lightning are available to us. No undersea contacts have been detected yet. Our anti-submarine warfare patrol area has been sanitized quite nicely. I'm going to creep the ambush forward so her total array starts working for us. Event tour complete has been fired. Wonder what that means. Wonder if that's the VIP we have to take out. All right, the Falcons are back on station. Oh, and they're coming at us pretty fast. Looks like our airborne early warning helicopter has got a friend. Let's launch 1, 2, 3 MiG-29s. Oh, not ready arm. We want to launch as a group. Slow down time compression a little bit here, just so we don't miss anything. There, they're up in the air now. Auto attack, band select. Off they go, turn on their radars. Then once they're done forming up, they will rush over to attack. There they go. It's going to be a close one. Run, helicopter, run! No, the F-16 is running away. I wonder if they've run out of fuel. Looks like they might have. All right. F-16 versus MiG-29, round 2, fight! Our missiles have been fooled. We fooled their missiles so far. Ah, we lost our first plane of the scenario. One MiG-29 has been shot down. We've got 2 left in the air. One F-16 down. Closing in for the kill. Sorry to say, buddy, you've got no chance. No chance. Oh, Sidewinder out. Last-ditch Sidewinder. Oh, he got lucky. Well, that's why we launched 3 MiG-29s to deal with 2 F-16s. All right, 2 planes shot down, 1 RTB. Let's take a look at our score here. Are we losing points for that? We are not. All right. Well, some losses were expected, I guess. Just glad it wasn't F-35s. All right, we'll speed up the clock here, get our F-35s back in the game. No undersea contacts have been detected. Makes me a little wary. Would have figured we would have picked up something by now. Whoa, 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 whoa. Way too fast. Way too fast. We missed. What did we miss here? Got some F-16s. We got an undersea contact. It's a nuclear-powered submarine. All right. Just busy saying that there's nothing going on under the ocean, and then boom. There she is. So the Schalke is right in the way. I'll get the Chakra nice and close. I'm going to send the Chakra down to as deep as possible. Flank speed. Get her on station ASAP. Let's get our underwater sensors back in the game, as well as underwater weapons. Start moving forward. Nice and slowly. All right. So the game is afoot. We've got something going on with the Schalke and an unknown nuclear-powered submarine. Interesting. Oh no, it was detected by the Schalke. 8 nautical miles away. Chakra is coming. It's going to take her how long to get there? It says 1 hour, 30 minutes. So she's a fast boat, but it's going to take her a while. All right. Now these F-16s, I don't know what they're doing. One of them's loitering. One of them's going up to full military power. Are they coming after my helicopter? Do I have to pull them back a bit? I think I might have to. Yeah, the other Falcons go. They lost interest in whatever they were, whatever they thought they were interested in. And back at the Queen Elizabeth, we've got our 4 airborne capable, or sorry, our 4 air warfare armed F-35s all set to go. Airborne capable, yeah. All these planes are airborne capable, but these are armed with an anti-air warfare loadout. That's what I meant. Say what I mean, not what I think. All right, so we know he's at 5 knots. We don't know what depth he's at. Oh, he's very close. I've got no strike aircraft for another 2.5 hours. Just under 2 hours, actually. We've got our first set of anti-radiation armed Kryptons about ready to go. And 90 minutes on the F-35s. Well, let's do something. Let's send the 4 F-35 Lightning out to not only sanitize the area of Falcons, but also see if we can do some recon in the inner Pakistani area. And turn off our sensors. We have identified the submarine as a hostile contact. Type 093B Shang. Class of nuclear-powered attack submarine deployed by the Chinese People's Liberation Army Naval Submarine Force. And it has the YJ-18 supersonic anti-ship missile. All right, something we need to take very seriously. 8 nautical mile range on their torpedoes. Max speed of 35 or 65 knots. The Schalke is horribly outgunned. Our torpedo has a range of 35 knots at best. Effective range of 4 nautical miles. So we got to get in nice and close. Nice and close. We're halfway there, though. We're about 6 nautical miles away. Say we're almost at the point where we can actually attack. We're almost there. Well, Schalke has got to max range, 4 kilometers away from the enemy nuclear-powered attack submarine. Launched 2 torpedoes. And they are wired up. Yeah. Mutually assured destruction, perhaps? We'll see. Two torpedoes on the return. Can we actually get a solid hit while he's still wired up? I wonder. Turn on our sonar. Question is, we're still wired to these torpedoes. We haven't detected him in 2 minutes, which means he's probably gone very deep. Our torpedoes are going to miss him unless we get a solid contact for them to adjust them before. There he is. Okay, so he's at 414 feet. The wire's about to be cut. Can we tell these torpedoes to go deeper? Ooh. We cannot. All right. Well, we got a solid contact, but not exactly. I was hoping we could tell the torpedoes to go deeper so that when they get within range with their own sensors, they could pick up this submarine at very deep depth. But at 33 feet above or below the sea level, I'm not sure if they're going to pick up that deep running submarine. We will see. The wire is going to be cut any moment now. How is the wire not cut yet? I don't understand that. Well, the wire is going to be cut when the submarine gets blown up. Guarantee you that. There goes the wire. The torpedoes are now searching. Schalke is done for. Oh no. It was spoofed. We successfully spoofed it. Second torpedo, though, not to be fooled. It's taking out the Schalke. That was a scoring event. Minor defeat, minus 100. Oh dear. Oh dear. Let's return the favor, though. Let's see if we can return the favor. Our torpedoes are they're going down in depth. We might get lucky here, although they're so darn slow. 35 knots. If he turns around and runs the opposite way, he can probably get away from us. Like, what is his max speed? 30 knots. Okay, so we have a 5 knot advantage. Ah, that is not inspiring. All right. Doesn't look like we're going to get a success here. Windshield wipers are going, but we're not finding anything. Darn it. Well, Schalke, valiant effort. You tried. All right. So our next option is the Chakra, who is on their way to the roughly the right area. We do have the ability to fire if we wanted to, but we don't have a solid contact. Right? Because the SSN-15 Starfish has a range of 22 nautical miles. That's the rocket-powered torpedo. We are roughly... No, we're 42 away. We're not even close enough for that. Darn it. All right. Well, we'll get the chakra nice and close, and then we'll play that game in a few minutes. In the meantime, our F-35s are making progress towards the east side of Pakistan. Again, our only aerial contacts are the YW Cub still. Speed up the clock again. Okay, we're roughly 30 nautical miles away from that sub. Let's slow down the Akula, bring her to a creep just over the layer. Boom, boom, boom. A little bit of a search pattern. See if we can get contact with that Chinese submarine again. Unknown mobile contacts have been detected. Skyguard radars, again, AAA, nothing we need to worry about. There we are, we're in range of the Y8 Cub. Turn on our sensors. Let our boys attack. There we go, one down. We got an ATR 72500. What is that? Going the opposite way. Fixed wing area surveillance. Has a passenger. I wonder if this is our VIP. I wonder if that is our VIP. We might get lucky here. Let's go intercept. There we go. Whoop, what did I miss there? Quickly hit the spacebar to take that message off the screen. Looks like it said the transport containing the head of the Pakistani Navy has been shot down and he's presumed dead. What he was doing is in a slow transport in a war zone in the first place remains to be seen. Okay, so we got lucky there. Our F-35s detected that Pakistani naval head almost out of the war zone. Almost out of the war zone. But we were able to find him and finish him before he got away. So that should equalize the score. Oh, even better. We're in the average category now. Even better. Let's take out the other Cub. Down. All right, so we've got plenty of fuel left. Let's take a gander in this direction, see what we can find at the air bases and such. We've got aircraft spotted on the ground at Shamsi. 4 F-16s. That's all we see. So I feel like they might be their anti-air warfare presence may have been neutered. We may have done our job. And good news, our F-35 strike packages are all set to go. All 4 of them. Launches a group. In the air they go. And we're going to take care of our major objectives now. See if there's anything in the area we need to worry about. Helicopter looks like he's making for rebase after losing his parent ship. Well, so much for that. Nice try. All right. The airborne, or the aerial warfare F-35s are heading home. We've got our strike package on the inbound. 4 F-35s with 8 JDAMs. We have a bridge to take out. We have an oil refinery to take out, and probably this radar as well while we're at it. Let's head slightly east. Let me take the time compression down to 2 seconds. We'll take care of this manually. All right, first target, the bridge, the Macron Coastal Highway Bridge is in range. Fire 1 JDAM. We'll head down slightly south towards the oil refinery. Go into unit mode by hitting the numpad 9 key. Shift F1 for manual attack. Structure on the oil refinery, 1 JDAM. And 1 from here. So 2 in total. We need 1,200 damage points done, and each JDAM, if I recall correctly, does 300. So actually we should be firing more. Let's go back to that then. Shift F1. Click on the oil refinery. There we go. That's 2. We got 3 assigned in total. And there's the 4th. All right, those weapons are out. Let's bring the air wing south. There we go. Now we have range on the radar. And that should do. Now we hit 1 JDAM that has malfunctioned. Oil refinery has not been destroyed? No, it has been destroyed. We actually finished it with... Doesn't say when it was destroyed. We had 1 malfunction, 3 hits. The bridge is out as well. All right, so that was a successful strike. Triumph is our new score. Take out this radar and see what we have left to do. All right, so their eyes are gone. Their oil refinery is gone. The bridge is gone. The VIP is gone. We have a triumphal score. What else do we have to do? Let's take a quick look at the side briefing again. We are to hit targets in the Omara area. There's an armor brigade and marine infantry battalion near the city. Prevent their movement by killing the bridge. Done. The China Naval Base has an oil refinery. Kill it. Done. VIP. Kill it. Done. Deconfliction zone. Do not violate. Done. All right. So I feel like, aside from the submarine threat in the area, we are in great shape. I think we've pretty much won the scenario in the first 7 hours of the scenario. Is there anything else we want to do here? I mean, we could... Okay, so we've got two options. We've got about 45 to 50 minutes left in the stream. We could continue the anti-submarine battle, try to find the enemy submarines, and prosecute them as best we can. Or I could restart the scenario from the opposite side, from the Pakistani Chinese side, and see if in 45 minutes I can't effect a victory, a massive victory for the Red forces. What would you guys like to see? Blow more stuff up, I guess. We got 1 vote for red. Nice to see red. All right, we'll wait for another 30 seconds to let anyone else give some feedback. Again, the two options: stay here and play with the submarines, or go to the red side and see if we can't somehow quickly get through this scenario in like 45 minutes. All right, looks like we're going for red. So this is a successful playthrough of the blue side, I think. Submarine warfare notwithstanding. I mean, I guess there is a possibility over the next day and 15 hours that we might lose 3 carriers. But I'm not expecting to do so. I mean, we've got so many sonobuoys in front of us, and we've got a few very capable submarines in the area as well. I think we're A-okay. All right, so it looks like red is interesting. Let's do that then. We're going to go back to the start menu, choose the same scenario, Commonwealth Collision. Loaded up here. And we're going to try to play this through pretty quickly, because I only have 45 minutes left in the stream. So the relevant points here on this briefing for the Pakistani-China side, we got F-16s, we got drones, we have a volunteer support detachment, an IL-76 airborne early warning aircraft, Mirage 5s, JF-17s, our very survivable turboprop maritime patrol aircraft. All right. We have 6 frigates divided into 2 surface action groups. 2 remaining submarines have been deployed, plus 3 Chinese nuclear submarines. Our target is the carriers. So if we sink the Queen Elizabeth, we will cause an uproar in the withdrawal of UK troops. At the same time, protect our units and infrastructure to the best of your ability. The enemy is bound to attack the Jinnah naval base. Head of Pakistan Navy has planned visit to Ormara. Insist on going. Keep him safe. Large confliction zone, do not hold back. Sacrificing the surface fleet and 4 squadrons of fighters in exchange for a carrier will be considered a worthy cause. Done and done. All right, so this should be fun. We've got 45 minutes to start and finish this. So we're going to go all out very quickly here. All out very quickly here. So first off, we have no enemy contacts on the board. We know roughly they're in this area. So that's what we're going to go with. We've got some Falcons in the sky. Do we have preconceived missions? No, we do not. They're unassigned at the moment. All right, let's bring them out here. All of our radars active. All of our ships are active. We go as fast as we can south, flank speed. As fast as we can south, flank speed. Same with our submarines. The Chinese submarines, we're going to go nice and deep. We have YJ-82 missiles on this one, 70 nautical mile range. This is not the carrier killer, I don't think. This is more of a cruise type missile. Yeah, 520 knots. A Type 91 Han, which if I'm not mistaken is a hunter killer. Nuclear powered attack submarine with torpedoes. No missiles on this guy. And then 416 is the Shang, which we saw on from the previous side. YJ-82s, and here's the YJ-18, the really the missile that is of great interest to us, the carrier killer, as it were. Surface ships only, 290 nautical mile range, and a speed of 530 knots. Okay, not as fast as I thought it would be, but the range is pretty impressive. In terms of Pakistani submarines, we have exosets on both of these. Diesel submarines, not going to get them into the war zone in time. Move our very capable Chinese submarines deep as possible. Flank speed. Deep as possible. Flank speed. And then directly through the lion's mouth. Deep as possible, flank speed. All right, I'm going to leave our diesel submarines alone. Let's start with Gwadar. What do we have at Gwadar? We have 8 aircraft, 6 available to us. Exoset loaded, 1 exoset per aircraft, the Mirage 5PA3. Only 1 exoset available. Coming over here to Pashni, we have 16 aircraft. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 Mirage P5A3s with exosets, 6 JF-17 Thunders with the carrier killer CM400 AKG Wrecker, 135 nautical miles, speed of 1,600 knots. All right, so when we shot those Tomahawks at the Pashni Air Base and killed those 6 JF-17 Thunders, that was effectively taking out the most effective carrier killing resource that the Air Force has. Good to know. Good to know. Ormara Airport has 2 aircraft, Turbine Islanders. And there's nothing to the east. Up north here, at Shamsi. Wow, only 10 Falcons in this scenario. 2 in the sky right now, 4 on the ground. We have our Cub, unassigned. think we'll move him. We need radar coverage. We need to be able to find that that fleet, so we're going to bring him down as fast and as high as we can. Or as efficiently and as highly as we can to see if we can get that radar in play. We have an IL-78, a tanker, maritime patrol aircraft, the ferry, which is ready in 3 hours, and the Y-8 Cub replacement. All right, let's launch one of these maritime patrol aircraft and see if we can't get sneaky and get that into range of the carrier group as well. Okay, so it's going to be a fast playthrough. We've got 35, 40 minutes roughly. 35 to 40 minutes before I have to call it and end the stream. Everything's going south as fast as we can. Gonna hold our aircraft back. Scenario's moving forward. Let's see what happens. I've never actually played this scenario from this side, so I have absolutely no idea what to expect. Aside from the fact that I have a rough idea where the enemy forces are. All right. Submarines are getting into position. Let's speed it up. Maritime patrol aircraft is up. There you are. Bring you down the east side. Maybe we should get a tanker track up for these Falcons too, assuming they have... Of course they must have tank ability. Must be able to aerial refuel. Boom refueling. Perfect. Let's have a quick tanker track here. We're going to add a support zone. I'm going to call this air-to-air refueling. Make it a support mission. We're going to add 1 unit of each class at all time. And we're going to assign our IL-78s to that mission. There we are. Move it a bit further south, give our Falcons better support. Unknown bogeys. Out there somewhere. Seem to just be loitering around, performing some sort of patrol function. Airborne early warning helicopter. So many things. Let's fix our emissions to fire control only again. Let's declutter the map as best we can. We'll leave air search and air weapon ranges on the screen. Lots of helicopters. I don't have a lot of aerial resources with which to fight this enemy. Only 10 Falcons. So we're going to be a bit defensive at the moment, see if they send anything in at us. Again, just more patrols. Okay, we got our Cub here. Let's see if we can't move him a bit further down this way. Actually, let's get that surface sensor. We don't have our radar on. Well, there's a problem. There's our problem. Okay, now they're on an intercept course. They see us. Which means we need some Falcons to do some heroic things. Turn on the radar. Intercept them. All right, mutually assured destruction coming up. So far, so good. We've shot down none of them. They've shot down none of us. We try again. Now it's down to Sidewinders. One down, two down. They were MiG 29Ks. All right, good job, boys. Good job. Send you back home. RTB. Let's get another set of Falcons out here from Chomsey. Launch as a group. Add a reference point here. I'm going to use this as our rally point for our Falcons. Rally point Falcon. Call it a support mission. And we'll manually assign our aircraft as needed, just so I can launch them and then forget about them. Assign a mission, Falcon Rally, off they go. So that's the first set of MiGs down. Let's get our Cub in as close as we can. Uh-oh. Missiles in return have been detected. From something. Let's get these Falcons over here, afterburn. We don't have the fuel to afterburn. We got 50 seconds of fuel if we afterburn. Not great. That might be from a stealth aircraft. I'm wondering if it is. Our 2 Falcons going evasive. Wow. Good for them. Those were AMRAAMs that were fired, so they were not MiG-29s. Guys, RTB in afterburner mode, please. Get out of there. Hey, Agroshim. Greetings to you as well. We are under attack from stealth aircraft, which is a real shame because I can't see them. We're quickly trying to play through the red side of the scenario. We've got about 25 to 30 minutes left in the stream. We successfully got through the blue side, and so we're now trying to do the same on the red side very quickly here with very little time left. Wow. Those F-16s don't want to die. Which is good. I mean, I support that fully. I support their life goals. They made it. Was that 8 AMRAAMs dodged? Red side is Pakistan and China. We were up against the combined forces of the Royal Navy and the Indian Navy. We've got 3 carriers out that we're trying to find. And we're also up against some F-35s, which, as you can see, make for very exciting gameplay because missiles just appear out of thin air. They just show up. We'll get them eventually, though. We've got some pretty powerful cameras on these ships. I'm thinking that's what they can use to detect us with. Get our radars turned on if they'll do any good for us. Oh, we're RTB already. 1 unit's RTB, the other one's still on station. Okay, let's just send this group of Falcons home before they get picked off one by one. We do have a set another 2 Falcons encroaching or being sent to our patrol area. Where's Shamsi? Where's the airport? That's not the airport I want. Alright, let's launch our final 2 Falcons. Assign them to the Falcon rally point. Launch as a group. That way we'll always have 4 on station. We're effectively out of anti-air resources, though. That's kind of worrisome. Kind of worrisome. Let's see, we've got MiG-29Ks positively identified by the generic TV camera on our ships. Whoa, 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 whoa. Why do we have a Sea King so close? How do they know we're here? I guess we're being a little too loud, eh? Do we have options on here for helicopters? Anti-submarine, anti-submarine, anti-submarine. What about over here? YU-7, what's a YU-7? Alright, lightweight torpedo. Alright, nothing that we can use to ward off his helicopter quickly. Our Falcons are all out of juice. Well, I don't have the time to run them nice and slowly. So we're gonna try our best here. We're gonna try our best to keep these guys alive. It's not gonna work very well, but you know, we'll try our best. 12 knots is the maximum speed. Really? Cavitation at 25 knots. Avoid cavitation. Go. Need to go faster. Let's see. We've got 12 knots here. Why are we only going at 12 knots? Let's turn off manual override. Let's go flank speed. Avoid cavitation. Done. There, that helps. A vampire has been detected. Where is that from? The anti-radiation missiles, most likely. Most likely. Yep, it's going to be a quick scenario for our boats. The Tariq has taken a hit. Major fire, major flooding. Yeah, Tariq's not looking good. Alamgir has been hit as well. Major fire, major flood. Lots of damage. Man, oh man, I don't feel like we don't have a lot of options here. Our submarines are going to be detected. Our radar has not picked up anything. We know where they're at, though. I think we can sneak people through. Let's just move our cub back. Take a quick look at our airfield here. What is the range on our JF-17s? How far can we go? .175 nautical mile strike radius at a high profile. So we don't have great range. Not great range at all. Because if we look at using the range tool, Control D, 175 nautical miles gets us out to here. And the carriers are here. Roughly double that. What about our Mirages? Armed with exosets, of course. 530 nautical mile strike. Okay, so our exoset armed Mirages. They can do something. Let's do that then. We need options. We need to make a breakthrough here. If we sit back, we're just going to lose units one at a time. So we'll launch 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 as a group. And over here at Guadar, we'll launch the 6 that we have here as well. Desperate times, desperate measures. Although the Sea King is not interested in our submarine, apparently. All right, Mirage, go and go. Let's keep them as low as we can. Minimum altitude. Gives us 500 nautical mile range on the planes. Roughly 1 hour of flying time. All right. Desperate times, desperate measures. This is probably a one-way trip. Probably a one-way trip. Let's risk our airborne early warning aircraft as well. All we need to do is get a solid fix on one carrier. Then we've got the missiles to reach. That's all we have to do. All right, speed it up a bit. We have down here, we've got our maritime patrol aircraft, made it on station. Almost forgot about her. Aha. Aha. We have success. So what do we have? We've got unknown surface contacts. I call the carriers. Now, unfortunately, most of my strike resources are on the west side of the theater. The Vikrant is here, the other Indian carriers in the middle, and the Queen Elizabeth is roughly here. Don't think we've been detected yet. Let's turn back on our surface weapon range. For only the selected contact. Right, so 416 has the ability to reach out. The other two subs do not. We've got our 3 carrier battle groups detected. They are here. Exoset range is very tiny. Very tiny. All right, so we need to get moving on in. What other options do we have on our maritime patrol aircraft? We've got great radar coverage, 30 nautical mile range, infrared surveillance. Well, if we can get close enough, we'll give it our best. All right, let's see. We might have a few options here. Just thinking out loud that, well, we only have 6 JF-17s. If we check the ready arm status, we have 5 more available magazines, or 5 more available loadouts of the carrier killer missile. So what we're going to do here is a quick launch. The range is good. Launch as a group. See if we can't get 2 launches in before we have to end the stream here. All right, so our JF-17s are in the air. Great range on their weaponry. Not great range on their aircraft. But we'll work with it. We'll work with it. Again, the QE is going to be our main target. Don't know which one she is, though. Well, we're getting a lot closer than I thought we would. We're roughly 70 nautical miles away from the enemy carrier group. It's a one-way trip for these guys, I think. It's going to be worth it if we can get some hits. Got basic radar, no optics to speak of aside from our Mark 1 eyeball. I'd love to have a positive ID on whatever's here so we can pick out the carrier. I assume it's the one in the middle. It's hopefully a valid assumption. Well, I'm a little... I don't think sending one plane high for recon will help out much. I've got airborne early warning here with radar coverage already. So more radar added to the picture is probably not going to help me. Visually, I could, but I don't know. The Mark 1 eyeball is so unreliable. Like, it's not going to be like, if he's at an appropriate height, he's going to see the target within 50 nautical miles. It could be 10 nautical miles, it could be 5 nautical miles. Mark 1 eyeball is not very reliable. Unlike one of the optical systems, I would trust that a lot more than the Mark 1 eyeball. So I think we're going to keep everybody at low altitude. And no one's challenging our maritime patrol aircraft or our airborne early warning. I think we're at least going to get some shots off here. That's going to be a thing. All right, time to pump up the speed, afterburn. And afterburn. Yeah, the return trip's not going to be a problem. I agree with that. That's a valid assumption. Move our maritime patrol aircraft back. He's actually getting a little close to air defenses. Oh, there they are. Someone's decided to come check us out. That being said, first group of exosets is in range. Let's do this. Assuming the middle contact is the carrier. Here, we gotta get them above 200 feet. That's easy enough to do. Let's launch all 6. F2. Let's get them up to 201 feet. Exosets out. And they're RTB. No, they're going so high. Don't go high for RTB. Stay low. Stay low. All right, 6 exosets have been launched. Not going to be a huge problem for the aerial defense destroyer in there. I think it's a Type 45. Very capable aerial defense destroyer. Very capable. The next group is almost in range. There they are. Let's fire them off. All exosets on the same target. And we'll get you up to 201 feet as well. Missiles out. Now they're RTB. Let's make sure they RTB at minimum altitude so they don't get shot down. There they go. Awesome. Okay. Initial strike is out. This is going better than I anticipated so far. Our JF-17s are coming in behind. 12 carrier killer missiles on board. They'll be in range very shortly here. All right, let's speed it up a tiny bit. "14 missiles out on this target. They've detected them. They're going defensive. We've got radar emissions. It is the Queen Elizabeth in the middle. We picked the right target. Hooray! We picked the right target. All right, now we're starting to lose our missiles. 11 left, 10 left, 9 left. Okay, first salvo of exosets have been taken out. Second salvo is down to 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Ugh. So close. So close. That being said, our JF-17s are not far behind. Get them in their faster military speed. Tempted to fire. I think what we're going to do is let's bring this guy to a stop. I mean, he's within range. His surface capable attack missiles are within range. Let's just stop him, bring him up to shallow. Point him this way. Almost in range. Another 20 nautical miles to go. The 416 is in range too. We're going to launch on the Queen Elizabeth. We're going to launch all. Are we going to launch all? YJ-18. That's what we're interested in. The YJ-82, I think, is a bit slower. 70 nautical miles. Yeah, we're launching the YJ-18s. Let's launch all 8. Go. Plot the course. We're going to go direct. Ooh, no. Plot the course. No. Clear the course. Plot the course. There we are. Perfect. Done and done. Okay, 8 weapons have been assigned. Once it gets to the right depth, they will fire off. Our JF-17s getting into range. Believe it or not, our Mirages are in and out unscathed. No threats. MiG-29s have been vectored to maybe hit a patrol zone. Maybe that's where they're going. It doesn't look like they're trying to intercept anybody. Okay, our JF-17 Thunders are in place. Weapon set on the Queen Elizabeth. I'm going to fire everything we have. Now, of all the weapons that we have, these are the most likely to get through because they have quite the speed advantage. 1,600 nautical miles, or 1,600 knots, I think is what they were. They will fly fast and hopefully be hard to shoot down. There they go. All right, so that is the initial strike. That's everything we've got. Planes have to go home to reload now. Queen Elizabeth is the target. 20 missiles out on her. 12 in this group. 8 in this group. Fire control radar is being engaged. We should start seeing our missiles start to go down. There they go. 3 down, 4 down, 5 down, 6 down, 7 down, 8 down, 9, 10. 2 left. 1 left. 1 left. Is he going to make it? 1 left. He hit the wrong boat. He hit the HMS Duncan, which isn't bad. That's their aerial warfare destroyer. The one that's been doing all the shooting down. That's him. That's not a bad hit actually. It's not a bad hit. Not what we were aiming for. Yeah, he's armed with various types of Aster missiles. Yeah, there they are. 48 Aster missiles, 16 of the shorter range variety, 30 of the longer range, 32 of the longer range variety. Okay, so that's not a bad hit. That's not a bad hit. That missile was meant to take out a carrier. It's probably done a lot of damage. To the Duncan, we've got 8 more missiles on the inbound towards the Queen. Speed it up a tiny bit here. Duncan is losing some of her power. She's down to 10 knots. Does the QE not have any fighters up on patrol? I think what may have happened was the fighters that we saw earlier were really they were up in this area. And we saw some stealth fighters, blanks in the sky firing missiles apparently. We shot down some MiG-29s. I don't know where the airborne patrols are. I really don't. We've got radar coverage of all this area. We see nothing. But radar coverage of all this area, surface radar at least, which wouldn't. It's only surface, I think. Take a quick look back here. Radar surface search, not for air search. Yeah, so the maritime patrol aircraft, not a valid discussion point, but the airborne early warning Cub here, radar that covers air search, doesn't see much of anything. 2 MiG-29Ks, that's it. That being said, looks like we've got some fire control radars out. I'm assuming our little cruise missile strike here from the submarine is, well, it's not going to work out. Yeah, there they go. 7 left. Yeah, 7 left. They're still firing. Apparently the Duncan is not disabled. 5 missiles left. We've detected a helicopter. Vector our submarine over. that could be our next. That could be our next attack vector. It's going to take our 414. It's going to take him 2 hours to get to his target zone here. So once these missiles are down, I'm assuming they're going to go down. I doubt we're going to shoot them all down. I doubt we're going to get any of them through, is what I should say. Planes are being vectored to intercept as well. Yeah, these missiles have no chance. Vampire, 9 nautical miles from the Zulkufar. Right, our surface attack group is being attacked. Losing 1 ship. 2 ships. Yeah. These are BrahMos missiles. These are the very capable Indian surface attack missile. Making short work of our fleet. Really short work of our fleet. Wow. 4 missiles left onto the QE. 3 missiles left. MiG-29s are shooting them down one by one. More MiG-29s have been vectored in. Yeah, I would agree with that, Winter Mule. I think all of the... Or Wintermute. I think all of the F-35s have been launched. Now, interestingly enough, these cruise missiles are on the wrong vector. Don't think they're actually going to reach their target. I can't change that. We have 3 left. 3 left in the air. Holy cow. Whoa, 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 whoa. What happened there? I'm missing something. These YJ-18s just took off. 1900 knots. What am I missing? What am I missing? So maybe it's a cruise missile. Rocket boosted penetrator. Oh, okay, that's fancy. So what does that mean? It runs at to the okay, so it's got like a turbojet engine that gets it most of its range, 250 nautical miles, and then it's got a rocket assisted penetrator that flies the last 20. That's awesome. That is impressive. 3 of them are getting through. 1 shot down, 2 shot down. Ooh, they got them all. The close-in weapon system, the Phalanx, shot down 1 of them. 1 of them was seduced, so it was defeated by Chaff. And the other one, I think it was shot down as well. There we go. That was unexpected to see that suddenly pop off there. Go from 500 knots to 1900 knots. That's a fearsome weapon. All right, so we've got 8 minutes left in the stream. We've got no aircraft left. They're all reloading at base. They're going to be 6 hours at the very least. Our only hope here is going to be our submarine. So let's kick the clock into gear and see what we can do. Last ditch effort to sink a ship. Hang on a tick. Wait a tick. 70 nautical mile range on these. Surface ships only. Why is our surface range so small? I bet you they're not on the magazine. We have 6 torpedo tubes that can take these. Let's take 4. Reload them with the YJ-82s. There we go. That's better. That gives us a few more options. What about you, Mr. Han? No, you don't have that same option. All right. Well, we're ignoring everything else right now. We're going to go straight for that carrier. Queen Elizabeth is running in the front of the fleet now. Where's the Duncan? Where's the Duncan? The Duncan has fallen off. Oh, wait, that's not... Why am I saying Duncan? I could be thinking of... There was a scenario I played a while back, Dawn of a New Era. Another command line DOC, a very good one. And that was the HMS Duncan. I thought I saw the Duncan, but no, that's a D-35 Dragon. I'm seeing things now. I thought I saw a Duncan. In fact, it's a Dragon. Unless... Did something sink? Where are the... Okay, blue forces. Blue forces... No, there weren't any ships sunk yet. I must have been seeing things. A Dragon, not a Duncan. All right, but we are in range of the carrier group in terms of missiles. Let's take her down to a stop, bring her up to shallow depth. Sonar buoy detected. Uh-oh, they're on to us. All right. 4 missiles out. Go and go. This could be our last gasp here. Last gasp. Four missiles out. Fire control radar's popping something off. 1 down. 2 down. 3 down. 1 left. No missile of destiny. They're all down. All right, so speed up, speed up, speed up. What are the chances we can get a helicopter into, or not a helicopter, a submarine into kill range here? Something's happening somewhere. Oh, enemy aircraft are attacking the Jeddah naval base. Looks like they destroyed... Huh. They destroyed something. I missed all that. Looks like they were engaged by a SAM site, the HQ-16 that was mentioned in the briefing. And I don't know if the HQ-16 got annihilated. It probably did if those were anti-radiation armed MiG-29s. Hard to say. Nope, we're still fully functional. At least in terms of launchers. No weapons left, though. We're completely drained out. All right. So, we have 4 minutes left on the stream. Can we make an effect here on the Queen? Go, Han, go. Get our underwater sensors, underwater weapons. 4 nautical mile range. She's not going to make it. She's not going to make it in time. All right, so let's take stock of what happened here. Make sure we didn't miss anything. Looking at the scoring log, we've got a minor defeat. Although I will suggest, with the second wave of exosets and carrier killing missiles from the Chinese coming in the next 6 hours, I think we would have some pretty good success against the Queen Elizabeth, given the fact that her aerial warfare destroyer took a missile. Let's take a look here. Did I miss anything? A lot of weapons have been fired off. No ships have been destroyed. Yeah, they didn't lose any ships. We, however, lost one entire fleet, 3 Zulfiqar frigates, 3 helicopters. So, on that stage, I don't think we can stop the loss of our ships. That we simply don't have enough resources to do that. On the bright side, though, I think we found a way in to the carrier group, and surprisingly enough, we almost had some success. But either way, guys, that is where I'm going to have to call it to an end. 4 o'clock is my cutoff point. So hopefully that 3-hour stream on Commonwealth Collision, an older Command Live DLC released last year, hopefully that was interesting to you, and hopefully you had some fun watching the stream here today. Is there anything I want to say in conclusion? Well, the blue side we won definitively. I think we won that one. And I think if we'd given enough time, I think we would have taken a lot of losses here as the Reds, as the Pakistani Chinese forces, but we would have doled out enough to get a victory, I think. The Queen Elizabeth is relatively defenseless. We have a second wave of aircraft coming in, plus our submarines are on the doorstep knocking away, and they haven't found us. So I think we're in a very good spot as the Pakistani Chinese forces on this side too. Even though we only had 45 minutes to make it happen, I think this is we could say victory is on the horizon. We haven't quite achieved it, but we're almost there. All right, so that is the end of the stream. I appreciate everybody coming out on their Saturday evening or Saturday afternoon or Saturday morning, depending on where you are in the world, to see me stream on behalf of the Slytherin group. Again, thank you for coming out. If you're interested in the Commonwealth Collision DLC for Command Live, or for Command Modern Air Naval Operations, it is available on the Steam store as well as the MatrixGames.com website. I am Dr. Zayas. Normally, I'm streaming over at the Stoic Frog Gaming Twitch channel or putting content up on the YouTube channel called Stoic Frog Gaming. I hope you guys had a good time today. Just a quick note, King of the Border, I'll be continuing my playthrough of that over on my YouTube channel, stoicfrog.tv. So if anyone's interested in some more King of the Border that I started last week and continuing on my YouTube channel, that'll be up there later today. Episode number 2 should be today, and episode number 3 tomorrow. All right. Gonna sign off now. Thank you all for coming on out. And again, enjoy the rest of your day. Have a good afternoon, and take care.